Welcome everybody to the Scale Up Show. I have a very special guest with me today. Once again, this is Ryan Staley. I have Chris Beall. Chris is the CEO of Connect and Sell. Now, Chris has got an interesting story. He's been participating in software startups as a founder at very early stage for almost the past 30 years. And he's been focused on consistently creating and taking to market simple products that be used successfully from the first time that they are touched, without taking a course or reading a manual. So I love that. His belief is the most powerful part of any software system is the human being that we inappropriately call the user. He's also the host of the podcast and Market Dominance Guys. And at Connect and Sell, he's leading a company that's doing over $24 million in revenue. Chris, welcome to the show. Happy to have you on, man.
Ryan, awesome to be here.
You know what else I've seen as well with salespeople, and this isn't just salespeople, this is founders, this is leaders. I think because of the whole transition of how much people text, there's salespeople that don't pick up the damn phone anymore because there's so many other ways which they could do it. And at the end of the day, they're less effective in a lot of cases. What's your thoughts on that? Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, there's some trending in that direction. It's kind of funny. Mostly it's just hard to get people on the phone. I mean, it takes 22.4 dials now on average to get somebody, and it's frustrating and it takes time. And if your inclination is to do something else, well, you're going to do something else because, who wants to sit there dialing a phone, ending up in voicemail over and over? And after a while, you realize those voicemails, nobody listens to them. They're just another form of spam. And if I'm going to leave spam, I may as well leave spam cheaply. I'll use email or I'll send invites on LinkedIn followed immediately by a pitch. That's the fad of 2021, which has now burned itself out, which is I'm going to send you a LinkedIn invite and then pitch you. Like, really? It's probably not going to be a great way to build trust. But, everybody tries everything. The skill is actually there. It's kind of funny how people's ability to talk didn't really go away. That's a conceit of older, I'll say, manager types who go, these kids, they don't know how to talk. It's like, trust me, dude, when you were young, you didn't either. Learning how to have professional conversations with people that are casual and meaningful, where you're comfortable, you're confident, where you can get to the point without being an asshole. All that kind of stuff, that's something we learn. We didn't learn it in high school. You're talking to your buddies and, we went from talking to people to texting people in high school. Trust me, our high school conversations were not the foundation for our future professional conversations.
I have a lot of folks on that are founders, I should say, that are, at that 10 million, they're looking to make the next jump to 20, 30 million. So I think it's pretty cool that you've taken the journey from, that 12 million to 24 million. How did you do it? And, what was the primary way in which you grew your revenue that much?
Well, I think we're a bad example, actually. I really do. The right way to do it is to do what Jeffrey Moore referred to as crossing the chasm. And if you're into enterprise anything, that is, companies should use what you do, the best way, in my view, to cross the chasm is to treat large companies as markets of one because they're big and complex, and figure out how to get in and then grow. Land and expand strategies in large companies is ideal. We've done a fair amount of that, by the way. We have a land and expand strategy, but in a sense, we've crossed the chasm with certain companies. Right? We're not allowed to speak about them, though. This is the challenge with us. So you want to not only get in, you want it to be referenceable. And we're a little bit stuck at Connect. And so we provide competitive advantage. So founders love us because they can go figure out problem market fit, product market fit, and they can scale without hiring very many people. Wow, what a great combination, right? So that's great in that world. And they don't compete with each other very much because all these founders are in different businesses. And so those businesses aren't, because you're a founder of even of a tech company, that doesn't mean you compete with every other tech company. You only compete narrowly within whatever that space is that you're in. So that's a world that we do pretty well in. And I would say in that market, we're pretty referenceable. That's part of it. But the main thing we've done is kind of brute force. We have Connect and Sell. So I have a small team talking to a lot of people. My team talks to 78,000 VPs of sales a year. Has
Wow.
conversations with 78,000 VPs of sales a year. And so, in a sense, when you're faced with, I'll call it a chronic pre-chasm situation where you're selling competitive advantage, so nobody wants to talk about you. We have a customer that fired a senior executive for mentioning Connect and Sell.
Come on. Really?
Yeah, yeah, and that's because it's considered to be truly a weapon. I mean, we're not joking when we say this is a weapon of market dominance. It's a weapon of market dominance. Folks dominate markets by talking to everybody before their competitor talks to anybody. That's how fast it is. We know a lot about the psychology of a cold call. We know when you ambush somebody, they're afraid of you. We know what to do with that. There's kind of an FBI vetted technique. In 7 seconds, you can take that fear and you can turn it into trust. Unfortunately, you only have 7 seconds to do it. After that, you're
So what is
screwed.
it, man? What
So,
what in
so
that 7 seconds, what do you got to do to change to shift to trust?
well, you've got to show that other person that you see the world through their eyes. So Chris Voss taught me this at a dinner one night. I asked him that very question. First, how long do we have? He says 7 seconds. I joked with him. I said, really, our research says 8 seconds. He says, your research is wrong. It's 7 seconds. I'm going, okay, got it. So I asked your question, exactly the same words that you
Nice.
asked. What do we have to do in those 7 seconds, right? And he says, oh, that's easy. All we have to do is show the other person we see the world through their eyes. We call it tactical empathy. And then we need to demonstrate to them that we're competent to solve a problem they have right now. And I asked him, I said, well, isn't the problem they have right now me? I'm the problem. And he says, bingo. And that's actually the key to the cold call, is you're talking to somebody, you've ambushed them, you've scared them. Your emotions are not the issue. Their emotions are the issue. The hardest part about sales is it's not about you, it's always about them. Get over yourself, right? So your emotions, who cares? Their emotion is fear because you're an invisible stranger. Your fear is the fear of being the invisible stranger that they're afraid of, right? Not a good idea to go around making people afraid because they might react. So what do you do with that? Well, if you say that you're a bad thing, that's a good thing. So you say you're a bad thing and you say it really fast and you say it really flat. Ryan, I know I'm an interruption. Do I hammer the word no? Now you see the world through my eyes. I see the world through your. Got it? I get it. I'm a
Right.
bad thing. And then I switch my voice to a playful and curious voice. That's an FBI term for a certain kind of voice, playful, curious. And I demonstrate to you that I'm competent to solve the problem you have, which is me. Can I have 27 seconds to tell you why I called? And you get it. It's like, oh, the deal is if I listen to this joker for 27 seconds, I get to leave with my self-image intact, which is all I'm looking for right now. So we all know I've got 27 seconds. I answered the damn
Yep.
phone, right?
Yep.
This guy's going to let me go. And he's going to let me go without a fight. That's what he says. And now he's armed me to say, hey, I thought you gave me 27 seconds. Boom, gone, right? So you will almost always get a chuckle and a move forward. Sometimes you get, you got 20 seconds. Who's going to say, no, I don't have 27 seconds, using up 4 of those seconds to say they don't have the 27
Right.
when they answer the phone?
No, I like that. That's sweet. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. I loved your insight. I love the dialogue at the end with the exact script. So I'm sure we'll make a clip specifically on that. Have some of that in the show notes. So, where can people find you? Where can they learn more about Connect and Sell? They want to check it out, or even look for it in deploying it in their company.
Well, if somebody wants to try it, we do this free test drive. It's on our website. There's a little form you fill out. You'll probably get a free test drive, and who knows, maybe you make millions of bucks doing it. So, it's live fire. It's your list, your people. We do them big or we do them small. So I don't care. It's all fun. And so that's the best way to learn. The Market Dominance Guys podcast, I think, is the most interesting way to figure out what we're doing. I'd start toward the end where the great guests show up. So listening to people like Cheryl Turner and Henry Wojdala and Matt McCorkle over at Kaiser Compressors, it'll open your mind to the possibility of using human conversations to dominate markets. The the more I've been doing this, the more I'm convinced that there's a lot of chaff out there. And if you want to learn from me, learn from the people that I'm working with. And that's these brilliant podcast guests.
Excellent, man. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show. We'll put that in the show notes as well. And I'll see you all on the next episode.